What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It's Thursday. Thursday night football starts tonight, so the week starts. We got the Saints and the Cardinals. But we got to talk about the Niners. A lot of news. We'll be right back. What's up, faithful? How we doing Thursday? It's time to get ready. We got some news updates to get to. Obviously, practice was underway today, and we got some cavalry back. I think this is, again, I've talked about it all week. This is a week we can get back on track, but they have to be healthy, and we're going to talk all about that. What's up, Rocio Nia? What's good? Mark Perez wants to know, am I going to SoFi on the 30th? I'm still debating it. I don't know. There's a lot of logistics I got to figure out, with my daughter, and if I have her that week. It's Halloween weekend, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Deb? She wants the Saints to win. I want the Saints to win tonight too, because I don't want to see Arizona win. But I think Arizona's going to win this game. But we'll see. How's everybody feeling? We've had to talk about injuries at a high rate this year, and today's no different. But there was some good news. So Nick Bosa came back today. Trent Williams came back today for the second day in a row. Right? They came back yesterday, but they practiced again. It looked a little bit better from the videos they've showed. Talanoa Hufanga was practicing in warm-ups. He was out there today, so he's progressing through the protocol. That is nice to see. Mike McGlinchey with the calf injury, he is back to practice today. The special teams, is looking okay. And what did I say that? I meant the offensive line coach, Chris Forster. I was thinking of something else. Chris Forster said that he looked good today. And so did Trent Williams. They look fine. So, I saw some video. We'll see, how they feel on game day. It's for one thing for the coaches to say they look good, but see how they look on game day. Hopefully they can play. We need as many players as we can get on the weekend. So, again, Nick Bosa, arrow trending up. Trent Williams, arrow trending up. And it's really good to see that. We need to get those guys back. Jimmy Ward out there again with the club on his hand. The broken hand. He's going to play with the cast most likely this weekend. One guy that was not out there in practice, Charvarius Mooney Ward, he was on the side field doing some work, so that's nice to see. But he wasn't in full practice today. They're still kind of being cautious. He has a groin injury. Those groin injuries are pretty tough. They're nagging. So we'll see how it goes with Mooney Ward. But we'll see what's up. Big Huff, that is big news. I think that if he comes back, that is a massive dub for this team. We need to have as many secondary players as we can get out there, especially for the Chiefs, because they have a dynamic, high-powered offense. And D'Amico was raving about Patrick Mahomes today in this press conference. So, Patrick Mahomes is going to bring his best game. We definitely need to see a very big game out of the secondary. So we'll see. We'll see. Do you guys think the Niners can get on track this Sunday, get back on track, actually? They've been kind of up and down. I feel like they can. Kansas City's a tough team, but from what I've heard from all the players this week, on all the interviews and the coaches and from Kyle and Jimmy and, and D'Amico today, I get the sense that they're just so tired of hearing about the Chiefs all the damn time. So all they're getting talked about is Chiefs this, Chiefs that, Chiefs this, Chiefs that. I think they're tired of it, and they want to go out there and just win this game because they've had to wait since 2019, right? That season ended. They went into the Super Bowl. You lost the Super Bowl. They haven't played them since that year. And it's been, all these years since. And now it's like, okay, we got to play these guys. We got to face these guys that beat us in the Super Bowl. And I'm sure they're pissed off. I'm sure they're mad. I'm sure all the emotions come back. It's flooding back. And I think that they want to go out there and get this dub on Sunday. Obviously, they want to get a dub no matter what. But this is definitely a personal game, a very personal game. So I think they're going to come out fired up. Sometimes when you play fired up, man, and you play with revenge on your mind and you play with this passion, and it's a perfect storm for coming out there and just annihilating someone. So obviously they have to be healthy, but I'm telling you, I feel like this team is going to come out and impose their will on Sunday. If they play mistake-free ball, we're good to go. We're good to go. We just have to limit mistakes and execute like we talked about all week. So let's get some questions today in the chat. Let's get the chat rolling. Let's get some questions out there. See what you guys have to ask, and we'll see what we got. We'll answer some questions today. Again, speaking about, are we going to be able to turn around this season? I'll wait for the questions to come in, and then we'll get going. So hopefully you guys are having a good day today. It's been a nice sunny Thursday afternoon, and hopefully the weather stays the way it does on Sunday. It's been a nice week all week. 70s. Can't ask for anything more against Kansas City if that's how it is. So we'll see. Big Huff, that is big news, Deb. I hope Big Huff can be fully cleared. He hasn't officially been cleared all the way, but he was in practice going through the protocol. We need to have Talanoa Hufanga out there. He's huge. It's huge for this team. He's played very good. And again, with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and all those guys out there, it's a good offense. And you got to be able to match up against them. So, what's up, Hey, Peter Parker? He says, I was sad for a while after that awful Atlanta loss, but it seems like weekly everyone is coming back healthy. Yeah, everybody was upset after that Atlanta loss. Nobody likes to lose games, especially a game like that. That was a tough way to lose a game. But I think that this week it looks like people are coming back. Like I said, the cavalry is returning. Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, both of those guys trending up. Those two are keys. I honestly think as long as we get those two guys back, we have a strong chance of winning this game because they're two of the best players in the whole entire league, right? I'm telling you. Pete Gorman says, got to give 10% to the big guy. Yeah, you're right. 10% to the big guy always. Drunk Polish says, what's up? Let's get this W bounce back. I agree. Definitely going to be a bounce back game if they can win. This is a huge monumental game. Again, if we win this game, momentum. So I think we could bounce back. Deb Topia says, who's been the biggest surprise this year, Mooney or someone else? I'm not surprised about Mooney. I was excited about this guy all off season. I'm so happy that he's lived up to his hype so far, and he's been a lockdown, just pure amazing cornerback. So I'm not necessarily surprised about Mooney. The biggest surprise right now, man, that's a good question. Let's talk about that. You guys drop your questions in your comments in the question box. Let's see. I think honestly, let me pin this comment. Drop your comments here on this. I think Aaron Banks. I'm going to say Aaron Banks. That's a tough question. That's a good question. Hey, Peter Parker says Burford. Burford's been great. He's been a pleasant surprise. But I think Aaron Banks, right? Everybody before the season started already labeled him a bust. We were sitting here talking about, oh, man, we could have had Asante Samuel. We could have had I did it myself. I was like, man, if this guy really doesn't pan out, we got rid of Laken Thomason, Mr. Durability, Pro Bowl left guard. If we got rid of him for this guy who doesn't pan out, we're going to be in shambles. But shout out to Aaron Banks, man. This guy has played at such a high level. He's probably been the best lineman on the whole entire team this season. So I got to say Aaron Banks has been probably the biggest surprise. And it's not a surprise because I didn't think he had talent. I mean, we all obviously know he had talent. Second-round pick. But how he was last year, didn't even get to sniff the field. He went through injuries. It was seeming like he was not going to be able to make it in the league. Everybody was calling him a bust. And, man, he's really transformed himself. He's come into this team and been a phenomenal player. So I think, to me, it's been Aaron Banks. He's been really good. So Burford's a good one, though, Peter Parker. Adrian says, if Bosa does play, how well do you think he'll play after seeing what Crosby did to them? Man, I'm telling you, man, if Nick Bosa plays this Sunday, he will be the X factor. He will be the reason that if the Niners win this game, it's because of Nick Bosa. This guy's so good against the run. He's so good against the pass. Like, he still leads the league in QB pressures. He's tied with Parsons. And QB hits, and he missed a game and a half. He's missed time. He missed 2 quarters the game before he missed. He's still top in pass rushing stats. He's 6 sacks. Like, this guy is a difference maker. Nick Bosa is the answer to this defense. He is the key. He's the best defensive player in the league. Hands down. He makes the whole defense go, Peter Parker says. And I agree. 100% Nick Bosa is the X factor, the key, the superstar, the shining light. He's a defensive player of the year candidate. Should be the front runner. But, and media likes to pump up Micah Parsons. Good player, but he's Nick Bosa is Nick Bosa. He is him. Bosa's a beast. He will still play amazing. And you don't, like I said, you remember the end of that Super Bowl? Who was crying in tear shambles? Nick Bosa was in literal shambles, after that Super Bowl. He was like every Niner fan, crying, just sobbing. You think this is not personal for Bosa? He's coming out for blood. He wants to take it out on Mahomes. I'm telling you, Nick Bosa will play great. He will play great. He will play great. PJ, do you still feel the same about Shanahan? I don't know. What do you think? Explain it a little bit more. You already know how I've been talking about Shanahan. You know, he's got to be a little bit more consistent, needs to be aggressive. So if that's what you're asking me, yeah, I still feel the same. He needs to be consistent, needs to be aggressive. He needs to be a little bit more creative. He's supposed to be the wizard. I haven't seen any wizardry right now. His spell book is outdated right now. He needs to update the spell book, go download the latest version. That's what we need to do. As far as releasing him, he's got time to turn it around. Like, you know, I think the biggest thing is everybody says, oh, if they get rid of Kyle, they're in shambles. There's nobody to replace him. There are options. There's always an option. There's always somebody out there. There's always someone better. And sometimes you need a fresh start. But I'm not saying that we need to get rid of the guy. It's still early. They're 3-3. They could turn this around. They did it last year. You know, they have won many games. They have been to, you know, championship games under Kyle. He just has to figure out how to change things moving forward. This is a pivotal point of the season. You're 3-3. Still got a lot of football left. But if you don't make those changes right now, you're going to get swept away. And you're not going to be able to play catch-up. And that's what the Niners are doing. They're playing catch-up. And that's not always good. When you're playing catch-up with the rest of the league, you can get lost in the shuffle. So he's got time to fix it. I don't think you get rid of him right away right now. There's still a lot of time, a lot of football left. But he needs to be a little bit more consistent. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. The playbook went down 10 pages. But at the same time, you still have playmakers. And there's no excuse to score 10 points or 11 points a game in your 3 losses. You can't score 11 points a game in your 3 losses. You can't. You got to play every quarter, like Deb says right there. She says we have to play all 4 quarters of the game. You can't play 2. They're not scoring in the second half. So we've mentioned that many times this week. You have to score points in the second half. 100%. You got to do it. You got to score in the second half, and that's the key. So good question. I mean, again, there's a lot worse, but there are better. You know, we can sit here and drag it on. We've talked about that topic a lot this week, Kyle Shanahan, and it's going to continue to be a hot topic, right? PJ says, how we feel about Jimmy? Jimmy's played good these last couple weeks. Obviously, the Denver game was a blunder. He didn't look too hot. He made a lot of mistakes. But I'll tell you what, Jimmy's played pretty nice these last couple weeks. He's handling it as good as he can. I don't think you should make him throw the ball 41 times. But defenses are stopping the run, and Shanahan's abandoning the run, and we're getting down into holes, you know. And when you're down in the game and you're losing, you got to throw sometimes. And especially this league, you got to throw to come back, and that's the way the league is dictated. It's a pass-heavy league, and unfortunately, Jimmy's not the guy that's going to win a game with his arm, but he's played pretty good. But again, we've talked about it this week. Receivers kind of hung him out to dry on a few plays. There were some plays there he missed himself. I'm not saying he was perfect. Can't give him all the credit, but he hasn't been horrible. He hasn't been like elite, amazing, great, but he hasn't been horrible. So I'll give Jimmy his credit. We've talked about him throughout the week, and I think he's played very well given the circumstances. This is one thing I've been a big advocate for is, and Peter Parker says the same thing. He says he's pissed that Shanny drafted Mason just to sit him on the bench. Well, he didn't get drafted. He was undrafted, but he did make the roster, right? He was a 53-man roster candidate, and he made it, and it was amazing because he was undrafted. And we're like, oh, my God, this guy tore it up, preseason warrior. He's not getting any chances, and it's like you can't do worse than what you're doing right now, right? Wilson putting the ball on the turf, and they're struggling to get the running game going. You would figure you got this young guy. He has an opportunity. Give him a chance. But we've talked about it a lot this week again. Danny Gray, and TDP and Jordan Mason. These younger guys just don't get enough chances, it feels like. So they definitely need to get these guys in the mix. It's still early. Get them some development. I think the only way to let anybody get better is play the game and develop. Like we talked about Trey last year, right? Got to get him in the game. The only way to get him better is to develop. And this whole offseason is Trey needs to play. It's the same thing with anybody. They're only going to get better if they play, and in my mind. So, what's up, Slasher? How you doing? But yeah, Jordan Mason. I would love to see some Jordan Mason. I'm a huge Jordan Mason guy. I need to see my boy play. It is what it is right now. Shanahan's got his system, and I guess we can't question it because it's worked to the extent of 2 NFC championships and Super Bowl. But we got to win. You know what I mean? We got to win. So get those younger guys in. Kyle's kind of resistant to playing younger guys. It seems like to me sometimes. So I don't know. It is what it is. Hopefully we do see some Jordan Mason because he flashed, man. This preseason looked great. Training camp was amazing. So I would love to see Jordan Mason in the game. Slasher says, I really hope our backup cornerbacks can perform on Sunday. There's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys. If Mooney Ward can't play, again, he went through practice on the sideline. He was just kind of going through, sideline work, and, he wasn't practicing. He was just out there doing side work. So 2 days in a row, he hasn't practiced. It's not to say he won't play, but those groin injuries can be tricky, and they got to be careful. They got to be cautious. So if Mooney Ward doesn't play, you got Womack, you got Lenore, you got Dante Johnson, maybe Jason Verrett. He's fully healthy right now. Apparently, from all the reports, he's looking pretty good this week. Now we need to see how his knee feels day 3 tomorrow. Day 3 is the third day of practice, Friday. How's his knee going to feel? So that is going to be a key going into Sunday. And if Jason Verrett can't suit up, we got a young secondary against Patrick Mahomes, man. We want to give ourselves the best chance to win. And going up against Patrick Mahomes with, Lenore and Womack, no disrespect, I think they can step up and play good. But it will be a tough challenge for them because Mahomes, man, hell of a quarterback. You got Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, a very innovative head coach. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, Peter Parker says we got to rest Mooney like we did with Bosa. Throw Womack out there. I don't think you got anything to lose. Let the kid get his burn. I think it'll be a big experience for Womack. It's not going to be easy for him. But with the groin injury, I tend to agree with you, Peter Parker, those are tricky injuries. And if you go out there and you play too early, you have the risk of making it worse, and then you're out for a long time. So you might need to sacrifice a week without Mooney Ward. But he wants to play, man. The thing with Mooney Ward, this is a revenge game for it. This is his old team, Kansas City. Players, whether you think about it or not, whether they tell you or not, whatever they say, it's just going to be another game for me. Yeah, no, man. When you're going up against a former team, whether you left on good terms or bad terms, you want to go in there and show up and be like, look, man, I am a monster. I'm so good. Look what you're missing. You want to impress them. Even if you went out on great terms, you want to always impress your former team. It's like when you go to a job or something, you see your former boss or you see your ex. You always want to impress them. You always want to show them like, yo, I'm doing good. I'm doing good without you. That's the mentality when you play your old team. That's just the way I see it. I mean, I could be wrong. What's up, David? What's up? Niners getting back on track. I feel it, baby. Are you ready to predict Sunday's score? Not at all. We'll predict it tomorrow. VZ just said, left the Breezy show and the breakdowns. There was some key good point. Yeah, Breezy's the man. He breaks it down like no other. Gotta love my boy Breezy. I gotta get him back on the show sooner rather than later. What's up, Christy? How's it going? Hey, Peter Parker. He dropped a score prediction, 20-17, Niners over Kansas City. I like it. 3-point win. I'll take it. I'll take a 1-point win. I'll take a 3-point win. I'll take a 10-point win. I'll take a win. I don't care how they're gonna get it. However, they got to skin this cat, Peter Parker. We got to get that dub. My man, 49ers are owned by Stafford. We got a Rams fan in the building. He says 49ers kept the first place seat warm for the Super Bowl champs. Rams first place. We'll see how it goes, buddy. We got a game against you guys next week. Come in the chat next week and we'll talk, especially after the game. We'll see how it goes, buddy. But, he's feeling confident. Look at these Rams fans feeling very confident. I love it. I'll let you have your moment for a second. Niners on Sunday, going to be a dogfight. They just need to utilize the key players, says PJ. Going to be a dogfight. Again, this is going to be a massive game, a big game. I mean, like I said, this is a game where the team is motivated. They want to come in and avenge that Super Bowl loss. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as beating them in a championship game, but it'll definitely feel good beating this team, going into the LA game. You got to win. Got to win. yeah, LA game's going to be huge too. You can't think ahead. So finally a good matchup. You know, it's going to be a tough matchup. I don't know. I just hope we win. Again, I don't care how we do it. National Tight End Day. I hope Kittle goes off. You know, it's going to be National Tight End Day. You got George Kittle and Travis Kelce, mano y mano, the two best tight ends in the league over the last couple of years. You know, whether you want to agree with Kittle being one of the top this year, I know his usage doesn't look like he's one of the best right now because he's not used the way Kelce is used and Waller and guys like that. But Kittle's still a phenomenal tight end, regardless of the stats. He's a lineman out there playing. Tight end as well. So he kind of does it all. But it's going to be a great matchup. Two guys that are friends. You know, they created Tight End University, and it's going to be fun. National Tight End Day, baby. It's a holiday. They're going to be hyped up. I'm hoping George Kittle's mic'd up for this game, and if the Niners win, that's going to be great content. We always love to hear George Kittle mic'd up. But I do want to talk about George Kittle a little bit more. We've talked about him a lot. This is a guy that could be a absolute monster in the passing game, but he has to be used as a blocker. So I do want to see him out there used as a pass catcher more, and we've talked about it many times. I do love to see him block. He does a great job. But, man, on National Tight End Day, you would hope that George Kittle goes out there and crushes it, dominates, and has a big game. National Tight End Day. You got to have a big game on National Tight End Day, right? I would hope so. Tom Lewis says, no, we need him to block. 100% we do. And that's the dilemma, because in this offense, you do need George Kittle to block. But I would like to see him, be a weapon. We know what he can do with the ball when he gets it after the catch. He's the yak monster, Kittle over the middle. But I want to see him get some big time plays. I want to see him score a touchdown. I want to see him match Kelce. I want to see a true Kelce versus Kittle go to war, best tight end win. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Peter Parker says Kittle, 6 catches, 72 yards, 1 touchdown, and 10 pancakes. That's about his stat line. Usually gets about 10 pancakes a game. He probably has more pancakes in his career than touchdowns. He doesn't catch a lot of touchdowns. Tom says Kittle hasn't crushed it on National Tight End Day. You're right. He doesn't necessarily do well on National Tight End Day. A lot of haters in here, Polish. It's funny. I don't know where the haters come from. It's funny. You gotta love these haters. It's so funny. Just come in here and hate for no reason. You got no reason to hate, but they do it. Oh, man. Kittle has more pancakes than IHOP, VZ says. Yeah, 100%. Kittle does have more pancakes than IHOP. He's the national pancake man. The guy's a beast. He puts a lot of maple syrup on those pancakes. Hell of a player. Great blocker. But again, I do want to see him get utilized in the passing game. Let's see. Any more questions in the comments? What's up, media? How's it going? Ross says, I'm so happy everyone is getting healthy this week. Yeah, it looks, again, like we talked about earlier at the start of the show, it's nice to see that the team is starting to get healthy around this time, especially a big matchup. Again, if Trent Williams and Nick Bosa are there, that is going to be a huge, huge return for both teams, or for the Niners against the Chiefs. It's huge for the Chiefs because then they have to match up against Nick Bosa and also, Trent Williams. It's going to be tougher if they have to go up against those two guys. Because if Jalen Moore's in there, I'm not going to feel as confident as if Trent Williams is out on that left tackle spot. And Nick Bosa being there is just going to be a massive return for this team. So, again, he looks good. It looks positive that he's going to be coming back. So, under the weather. Oh, man, I hope you get better, media. Got to get you better, man. Take some medicine. Hopefully you're doing better. What do you guys think? You got any predictions for the game? You got any hot takes, predictions for me? Drop them in the comments. Let's go over those real quick. I'd rather play short in the O-line. Jalen Moore, he's tough. draft pick from last year. Obviously, you'd rather have Trent Williams and Jalen Moore, but that's tough because they had to get down to the third string tackle at left tackle, right? They went through Colton McKivitz and then Jalen Moore, so it is tough to see. O-line overall hasn't been horrible. There's been some bad moments here and there, but we've talked about Aaron Banks, been a huge surprise. Spencer Burford's been really good. Jake Brendel, he hasn't been the best. Mike McGlinchey's supposed to come back this week. He's back in practice. He had the calf injury last week and the game. I don't know. I don't know how effective McGlinchey's going to be dealing with the calf. Hopefully he can be healthy. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. So, you got people saying they think it's going to be a high scoring on both sides. In order to beat the Chiefs, you got to put some points on the board. You can't just score field goals. So you're right. It could be a very high scoring game. The Chiefs can score in waves. They don't have the greatest defense, so it's easy to score on them. But, man, they can come back in bunches. So let's see how it goes. Hoping Kittle outperforms Kelsey on the national stage. I would love to see it. I hope Kittle outperforms him and they win. But if he doesn't outperform him, as long as we get win. Debtopia says Bosa will get 3 sacks. Woo. Swaggy says, do you think if Verrett plays, and if he does he start? That's a good question. I think with Jason Verrett, they're going to be very careful with him. They're going to monitor him, and I think that they're going to want to make sure he doesn't, aggravate anything. I think you're going to have to keep him on a snap count. This is going to be his first game back since torn ACL, since the first game of last year against Detroit. So I feel that if Jason Verrett does play this Sunday, I don't know if he might get the start, right? He might be the cornerback out there to start the game, but I don't know if he gets the most snaps, if that makes sense to you, because you don't want him to get hurt. He's still kind of fragile. You got to make sure that he can get through the season. First game back, this is a tough game against Kansas City. You're going to have to probably limit his usage. So there we go. Going to smoke that. 916 says he's got an ounce for the game, baby. If we play a lot of zone defense, I will lose. I think the key, again, no matter what we got to do, is we got to get in Mahomes' face. We got to force him to make pressure or turnovers. We got to get pressure on Mahomes, and that's the key, is getting in that man's face. Make him make mistakes. Mahomes is prone to mistakes, right? Alvin says, hot take, Kelsey's going to show the Niners who's the best tight end in the football. 2 touchdowns for sure. I sure hope not, but, I could definitely see it. He's tough, and the Chiefs are really good in the red zone. They're a really good red zone team, and it's because they use Travis Kelce. He's such a huge target, and in the red zone, they try to throw it to that man almost all the time. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 2 touchdowns, right? So, we'll see. PJ says, I want to have faith on our team, but I don't know. I'll say 20-17 Niners. A lot of people are stressed about this game. I know it. It's not going to be easy. I still think the Niners can win this game. They just got to get if Nick Bosa comes back, game changer. And he will show, if Nick Bosa goes out there and the Niners defense pressures Mahomes and they can do what it takes to help put this team in position to win, Nick Bosa should get a lot of MVP awards just for that, just for coming out and putting the pressure and helping the Niners win this game. Because if the Niners win this game, it's going to be because of a strong defensive pressure from Nick Bosa and this team. And again, if the Niners win, obviously they got to score points and they got to keep up with the frenetic pace the Chiefs do. But if you can force them to make mistakes and score in bunches and prevent them from scoring in bunches and get that pressure in that man's Patrick Mahomes' face, that's going to go a long way. And Nick Bosa will be a big key to that. So we'll see. Yeah, no big plays, Tom. We can't let them have explosive plays because that's what the Chiefs live on. They live on those big, huge time, explosive, just chunk plays. And then it's just, like I said, they could score so fast. It's crazy, in the blink of an eye. Got to limit that stuff. And if they do score, the Niners got to come in and score real quick, real fast. So let's see. I'm going to open this up to discussion. We've talked a lot about this game coming up, but we got to talk a little bit more about, the 2012 Niners reunion. You're going to have Harbaugh and all those guys there. We've talked about that this week. There's been so much people talking about the Harbaugh-led Niners and that 2012 era, all that. That was a phenomenal squad. Well, of course, 2019 was a hell of a squad. But what do you guys think? 2012, 2019, I think I asked this question before. Give me your thoughts in the comment. Do you think that this team has potential to be this Niner team right now, if they're healthy the way they are, with Bosa and Armstead and Mooney and Mosley, if everybody was healthy, could this have been the best team in the last 2 decades? Would it have been better than 2012? It's tough because that 2012 team was so legendary, and I've been watching a lot of clips and highlights and games from them this week just to kind of feel nostalgic. Man, 2012 team, that era was something special. But this team this year, man, they have so much talent, like just so much elite talent. It's unfortunate because we're never going to see them at their full strength, really, all of them together. It's kind of an unfortunate thing, So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? 2012 was better. 2019 was close. Yeah. Depends on if the NFL rules are the same. That's true. The rules definitely been changing year to year. Yeah, they were on pace for 94 defense. I mean, this year's defense was incredible. Injuries have really been tough. PJ wants to know when Mosley's back. He's out for the season. He's tore his ACL, so that's a very tough break for this team, unfortunately. No turf, says Debtopia. That's huge. Playing back on Levi Stadium, I feel like that's going to be massive for this team. They're used to playing at Levi's. That's a big plus. I think that's going to be helpful for this team. Hopefully, we can avoid injuries. I think that's going to be the key. If we can just continue to get through these games without injuries, and get our guys back, that's going to go a long way because. Yeah, we're getting healthy. We're getting guys back, right? Slowly but surely, we're going to continue to get our players back. But if we keep losing players on a weekly basis, you're not going to be able to bounce back. You have to be able to stay relatively healthy. Like I know you get injuries every season, whatever the case is, but they have to be able to stay relatively healthy and prevent some further ones. So I think from here on out, I hope we don't get any more injuries than they've had, right? So we'll see. How do I think this game is going? It's going to be I honestly think it's going to be a high offensive game. I think someone else commented that earlier. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a tough offensive firing game. And there's going to be a lot of offense in this game. Hopefully Niners are part of that offense. I hope it's not just the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the defense is going to play gritty. I think the Niners defense is going to play their ass off. They're a high-level defense. It just really depends on the matchups. And it really depends on who's healthy. If CJ, if Charvarius Ward can't play and Womack and Lenore out there, they're going to have their hands full. And I think, Chiefs will score a little bit more points than we want them to. As long as I think if we can hold the Chiefs to 17, 21 on defense, that'll be a key. But then you got to make sure that this offense can go out there and score. We can't score field goals. So we'll see. Take about 2 more questions. We're going to wrap it up. Short show today. Got a couple things to work on. Been a busy day today, so keep the show a little short. Had a couple guests, but they weren't able to make it today, unfortunately. So we'll see. Got to work on getting some more guests throughout the week, but it's been busy lately. So sorry about that. We'll try to get more guests coming up soon. Yeah, Kyle Williams. I don't even want to read that man's name. Nonetheless, say it. Jeez, Kyle. Oh, I can't even. Disgusting. Slasher says the team has a chance, but with all the injuries, it's going to be an uphill battle. Yeah, 100%. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. Have we talked about CMC issues? No, we didn't talk about it today. I've talked about it all week. Again, Kyle addressed it yesterday, and he basically said it's due diligence season, like we expected. So we'll see. Debtopia, this is the comment of the day right here. Kyle needs to prove he deserves the genius label. Boom, right there. Drop the mic. You're the genius. You got to score more than 11 points. So give me a second. I think I got someone coming in, actually. Let me pause this real quick. We'll see if I can get one of my guests coming in. We'll be right back. Was I muted? There we go. We back. Yeah, I got someone joining shortly here. Locksmith. It's not Locksmith. I've been trying to get him on, but we just never have timing. Timing's off. So I gotta get Lock on here on the YouTube. I gotta get Eric Davis on the YouTube. Just timing's so bad with everybody. I'm always working in the morning. So, but I do have a guest coming on. We'll stay tuned. Y'all know. You already probably know who it is. You know the vibes. We keep it pretty good out here. Here we go. We got the guest coming in. We got the guest coming in. Welcome to the show, my man, Big Wayne Breezy. What's up, baby boy? How's it
Yes.
going?
Hey, it's been a long time, man. How you been, bro?
Been all right, man. I've been all right. Yeah, it's been a minute. How you been? You went to Atlanta last week. Went to the you living the life real quick. You've been grinding. You living the life. I'm jealous. You always at the games, man.
Man, listen, I'm just out here trying to, sow my royal oats. Now I'm just playing. I'm out here trying to have a good time and build this community. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to my bro John Chapman, man. Can't wait to get up with you, bro. I'm gonna be out there. I know in December for sure. I'm gonna be at that Miami game.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, bro. Breezy and your boy linking up and the Dolphins game.
It's
That's
gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. And Raj and I cannot post stuff the whole time when we are. We're gonna just enjoy the weekend. We're gonna enjoy the time out there. No posting.
no posting.
No posting, bro.
We'll see about that one, my boy.
I'm gonna be with him too. I'm gonna be like, let me see what he's doing. All right, here we go. Click.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yo, that shirt is fire, bro.
I appreciate it.
Simpsons.
Appreciate it. And you know, you got to keep it locked in. But how you been, man? I know you've been traveling the world and everything, but otherwise, how you feeling, man?
I mean, I'm doing good, man. I'm good. It's good to be back home. Good to see the family. And it's good to be here with y'all, like actually sitting in front of the desk, the computer, the cameras, everything like that. I miss it. I do when I'm live, when I'm out, but it's portable. It's weird. Like I like the lights, so it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. But I'm good. Everything is good.
You got the nice setup and everything, so it is weird when you're not like, because I've been out somewhere and then I had to stream or like post stuff. It's not the same when you're
Not
in your
the same feel.
when you're not in your home environment. It just feels weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I'm glad you've been doing well, bro. And look, big game coming up Sunday. I know you've been talking about it. I'm sorry if I'm late. My apologies. Whenever I go live, I put my phone down and I forget to like pay attention to it. Like it's crazy. Let's get this win, bro. Like a lot of people don't feel like we're gonna be able to win this game. A lot of injuries, a lot of things. Listen, man, I just finished watching the film for the 4th time.
Yeah.
We can win. We can win easily. We just got to execute, bro.
Yeah, honestly, and you're right, because the comments have been like pretty negative all week. I mean, and I get it.
And I get it.
Pretty banged up.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs, who don't lose after a loss. They're a tough team. Big bad Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. I get it. Like I feel what everybody's feeling, but you're right. I haven't watched it 4 times. I've watched the film about twice. I rewatched the regular game. There was a lot of missed opportunities in that Atlanta game, man. And I'm just like, God, man, they moved it pretty okay. But again, when they don't make those opportunities count, you screw your whole team up. So they have to be able to take advantage, make their adjustments, execute. And that's what we've been talking about the whole year, though. The 3 losses they've had, self-inflicted wounds, mistakes, turnovers, and then the defense, you put them in a bad position. So it's the same story, different week when we lose.
There it is. And look, looking at this Chiefs team, I mean, they're an offensive team. We know that. They have probably, arguably, the best quarterback in the league on their team. He makes plays. He extends plays. He definitely gets the ball out of his hand. But he's beatable. He lost last weekend, too, by the way. They're not a good running team. Not necessarily worried about those guys running the ball. But I don't want to sleep on them either. Okay, I don't want to sleep on them. We need to come out there, attack on defense, make sure that we're running the ball on defense correct. This is weird because Raj disappeared from his own show, but I'll keep it going as if you know what I'm saying. This is too funny. But listen, Kansas City, they're beatable. And I think we actually got a chance to watch it. Now, I know we don't have a Josh Allen, but listen, I'm telling you, if you didn't watch the live Johnny Dell and my show, it's called These Are the Breaks. It's where we break down some of Johnny's like favorite plays, right? And we go through them back and forth. Please go watch the episode when you're finished with this. Raj and I were probably streaming live at the same time. Make sure you watch that joint. You're gonna be like, oh snap. Oh snap. Like, oh snap. That's exactly what your reactions are going to be. I promise you. So all we got to do is go out there and execute, guys. Look, our defense, it looks like they're going to be getting a little bit healthier. Look, Nick Bosa being on this team, like we go from a C plus to an A, just like one player, just like that. Like I get it, just like that. Now I do know we struggled inside, but we didn't struggle inside as much as you think. I know we gave up 168 yards rushing. Good to have you back, brother. But it doesn't Atlanta was averaging 166.2 yards rushing a game. That was with Cordell Patterson, and it was with Marcus Mariota. I like Patrick Mahomes, but keep him contained. You can't break down in the lanes. I'm talking outside, inside. You gotta keep him contained because he'll run up the middle too, just like Marcus Mariota did. He's probably not as fast as Mariota, but he'll go up that middle. Keep Patrick Mahomes contained. It's going to be one of my 5 keys to victories when I put that out for 49ers web zone.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done. I mean,
it is. It is. But you got to be disciplined, Raj. And watching the defensive film, you saw players not playing discipline, right? You saw Kevin Givens whiff on his assignment, which didn't allow Charles Omenihu to get home. Like that's what it was. And then it broke containment. Like I'm telling you, there's so many little nuances that just need to be tidied up. And then execution, I really think we'll be just fine, bro. I really
yeah.
do.
And again, that was the guy that I thought was going to be a key to last week's game, Kevin Givens and Hassan Ridgeway. They got pushed around. And again, if you get pushed around in the interior on that line, Atlanta's going to run. And they just bullied us. They bully balled us. And then that allows them to, if we can't stop them up the front, we're going to pack that inside. And then boom, Mahomes was able to run out to the outside. He just gashed us on the outside. And that's exactly what happens to us against these mobile quarterbacks. So I'm a little worried, man, because Patrick Mahomes can run up. He can run outside, but he's beatable. You just got to put pressure in his face. He gets uncomfortable like most quarterbacks, but it's going to be a task, man. It's definitely
a task.
If we have Nick Bosa back, though, I'll feel a lot more comfortable than
I don't see Nick Bosa missing this game.
Yeah,
I don't see Trent Williams missing this game.
Yeah,
I don't even see Mooney Ward missing this game. This is the game he had circled on his calendar.
I know, man. Revenge.
Wait. I know you haven't talked about this because we would have talked about it behind the scenes. Mooney Ward's presser.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him, "Hey, man, so could the Chiefs not afford you?"
Like, oh yeah, I talked about this. No, I swear, I talked about this last week. I love that question. It was my favorite moment of last week because they said it was Grant that asked him the question. This was my favorite press conference.
Grant, people don't tell you this, Grant, but I freaking love you, bro. Like that was the question. I needed to hear that.
His question was great. He goes, "So why didn't you stay with the Chiefs?" He said, "Well, I wanted to. They didn't have the bag though."
They didn't have the bag. They ain't had a bag. He's so country.
The way he said it too nonchalant, he goes, "Well, they didn't have a bag though." I guess so. I guess they didn't have the money. I was like, "This motherfucker, you know." He called him up. I was like, "Yo, we got the fucking bag for you, bro."
Yo, it was just I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that to be his response, but the fact that that was his response, bro, it just made me love this kid so much more, bro. Like, I mean, and clearly he's been playing like he was given the bag. Unfortunately, he suffered a groin injury. And I don't really think it was that bad. I'm gonna tell you this. Kyle Shanahan was if we were in position to win that game, fine. If not, whatever. The game really, not going to say it doesn't matter. It doesn't really hinder us at this moment. Had that been later on in the season, it would have been clearly a trap game. And I think those guys have been out there playing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely early in the season, I think Kyle's trying to be smart, be a little bit more preventative. Maybe not so much preventive, but trying to be cautious because right now, if you get these injuries and you let them play through it, and it's early in the season, it can become a longer situation. Whereas if this was week 17, if this was week one of the week first playoff game, you're gonna let these guys play through it, because if you lose, you go home. If you whatever, then you got the whole season to rehab from it. So I feel like you're probably right. Where right now it's still a long time of the season, and you're like, okay, you know what? You got some issues, you got some tightness. Sit out, don't
Hmm.
play. I'm gonna let you rest it up. We're gonna kind of keep you cautious, stay out of practice. But like Nick Bosa last week,
Just
he
like Nick Bosa. There
it
you
was
go.
kind of like there was a tightness, and they probably felt, Atlanta's a team we could probably beat without Bosa. Obviously, they were wrong, but I feel like they are trying to be a little bit safe because, hey, the injuries have been a high, at a high tolerance. They've been a big question for this team. Everybody's questioning Shanahan. Why the hell do we have all these injuries? So he's probably like, I can't afford to get Mooney Ward, my big money guy, the guy that we gave the
My
bag to.
bag.
Can't afford to
He's
lose,
that
man.
Louis Vuitton bag
Yeah,
right
we gave
now.
him the bag. I can't afford to lose him. I would look stupid. I can't afford to lose Bosa right now. He's gonna get the bag this offseason. So I think you're right. It's probably more of a safety thing.
Hmm.
But those injuries are a little tricky. They can seem like minor, and then you go out there and you play, and then it becomes a major thing. So yeah, it's probably more of a safety thing.
Yeah. Speaking of safeties, let's talk about our safeties because I'm sure
Mm.
you did that already. I apologize for being late, but
No,
listen.
you're good, man. Let's go over it.
Look, Hufanga, if he clears the concussion protocol, that would be great. You want him out there because the room, the he man, look, Hufunga's been having a great year. We've seen him start to kind of come down the slope a little bit, but I think it's just due to the other pieces not being there, and it's kind of hard for him to overcompensate. You saw Fred Warner struggle last week as well,
Mm-hmm.
but they're trying to overcompensate for other players not being there. I like Hufanga. Jimmy Ward, does Jimmy Ward play? If like that's my question. I'm like, yo, you got to play with the club, dog. You
Yeah.
got to play with the club. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I talk about Jimmy Ward. This man is a menace. He's a savage, and I part of me is like, oh, you don't want him to play through injury because you don't want him to risk more injury. Nah, man, Jimmy Ward is a dog, bro. Like, if he was in the '80s, this guy would have done what Ronnie Lott did: chop the finger off, go out there, play, strap it up, put the cast on. Like he says, he goes, I ain't got no
Preach.
choice but to play. Like he wants to go out there and prove himself. He's got a contract situation himself. He's going through. He
Right.
wants to get the bag. I think Ward gonna strap that club on and go out there and play. And this game for a lot of these players that have been on this team for the last 2019 Super Bowl is personal, bro. It's
Personal.
personal for Jimmy Ward. He hates Patrick. I've talked to him personally. He goes, "I want to take out Ward." Or Mahomes on his live. He's like, "I cannot wait to see the next time I play Patrick Mahomes." He's been talking trash, and he knows. He goes, "They've been keeping receipts on me." And he said it. He goes, "I want to go out there and play." Like, whether he's got the club or not, whether it's smart or not, he doesn't. He wants to go out there. It is personal for him. So I think we need him out there just for the leadership. Even if he doesn't play a lot of snaps, he just needs to be out there for this team because you need as many bodies as you can get out there in the secondary to play against the Chiefs. They're a tough team. And again, speaking on Hufunga, I think last week he played through a concussion, and you could see he just wasn't right,
It
man. And
just wasn't right.
I felt bad for that guy. Whatever this damn concussion protocol is, they need to figure it out because it's not good.
Good point, Raj. Good point. Yeah, like he looked discombobulated out there on the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was over pursuing. Like he just didn't look the same. He didn't look the same. Uh, and he got the concussion early in the game too. And so, he got cleared and he came back, went out again, got cleared, came back. Shout out to him for being a warrior, but I don't want him to play around with his brain like that. So hopefully he's passing this test with flying colors. And if so, he'll be out there. Now, listen, this is a time we're going to see some big nickel. Right? We saw it one play the 2 games ago. But if Jimmy Ward is able to go, this is great for the 49ers
Mm,
because Ward is going to be a heat-seeking missile.
yeah, and he wants to take out Kelsey.
He wants to
He
take out
he wants
Kelsey.
to take out Kelsey. He said it. He goes, "Give me Kelsey. I'm coming for blood," or whatever the quote was. I got to pull it up after this. But he's coming for Kelsey, man. You know it. He's gonna hit him because really you need somebody that could stick up to Kelsey. Kelsey's tough. Jimmy Ward doesn't back down. And a lot of guys that we have on this team are kind of undersized. Even if Jimmy's smaller than a guy, he plays big.
He plays big.
He plays big because he's got that heart, man. So we need him out there, man. We definitely do. It's gonna be a challenge because you got younger cornerbacks. Hopefully Mooney's out there. Otherwise, Womack and Lenore are gonna have a lot of work to do, and then probably Dante Johnson. So I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if Mooney Ward was out there.
All right. Well, speaking of cornerbacks, let's talk about Verrett because he's practicing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, do you see any setbacks from your reporting? Like I didn't see any. I felt like he was out there. What are your thoughts though? Because it's a game on grass. Will he be limited? Will he get some snaps? I feel like he has to go out there and play. And I think if he's cleared, he starts.
See, that's the thing. I don't think he starts. First game back, torn ACL with his injury risk. Last week he was still having soreness. It's still early to get out there and have too many snaps. I think he's going to be have to play on a snap count. Maybe he
Okay.
start. Maybe he does get the start, but I don't know if he gets as many snaps as anybody else because you got to be very careful with this guy. And even Shanahan said it. The last time he came to this team when he first came, and they tried to get him in there. It was Steelers game. I remember that game. I was at that game a couple years back, and then he pulled his hamstring out on the first play of the game. It's just he's a fragile guy, and I think they have to be very careful with this guy. Unfortunately, um, I want to see him play. I think he'd be huge if he does, because if he can play to his potential and he's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
that's an amazing player to have. It's a Pro Bowler. You have Mooney Ward and then Jason Verrett. It'd be lockdown corners. But you got to be careful with this guy. I mean, I want him out there, but you can't abuse the guy because how's that knee going to respond? We've had 2 days of practice. He's looked good apparently from all the reports I've heard. He's healthy. He's a full go. Blah 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 blah. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 3 days straight of practice. We'll see how the knee feels, and we'll see what Kyle Shanahan says. But I mean, because that's the key. Because last week, first week back in practice, and they had to kind of shut him down because there was soreness. Those are things that might happen. And now a game situation, if he was having some soreness after practice, it's going to be a whole different story. So they got to play it safe. I feel with JV.
They do. I'm just looking at their depth chart, and I'm looking at Juju, I'm looking at Marquez Valdez Scantling, and then McCole Harmon. Those are their three guys.
Yeah.
Um, I just, I would love to have Verrett on Juju or Marquez. Like I think that those are good matchups. If
Yeah.
Mooney's out there, I really like our matchups. And then you can put Lenore back in the slot. I think that's where he belongs.
Yeah.
He wasn't really good on the outside last week, and neither was the rookie. Neither was Samuel Womack. He ended up getting beat, in my opinion, for 2 touchdowns. One was a run by Mariota. The other was the pass to Kyle Pitts. He just had the wrong positioning in there, and so you could tell. But they're young, they're rookies, and the second year players, and they need reps, right? And so in order to get better, is for them to go out there and learn through the fire. But when we got our starting guys out there, man, our secondary is like second to none. It's pretty damn locked. It's
Yeah.
pretty.
100%. They great. They got great players. They're young. They did make some mistakes, but again, that's what you got to learn as a younger player. And Womack, man, I felt that was a tough matchup. Pitts is like 7 inches taller than the guy, so it's a tough matchup to beat. But no excuse. You're a young buck. You got to be aggressive. You got to go out there and make the plays. He'll learn from that, but it's not going to be an easy matchup this week with Kelsey. So definitely got younger guys. I think Lenore would be better suited for the slot if he can be there. But again, that all depends. It all hinges on Jason Verrett, man. I really
Mhm.
hope he could be healthy, but again, that's the guy that we haven't really seen fully healthy except 2 years back. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and mentally, that's got to be daunting on him. You know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take a quick look at this practice report real quick, and just to see who was out there. I mean, we I think we're gonna look. I just think we're gonna be fine when it comes to this game, and I think the plan to attack the Chiefs, in my opinion, is just going to be keep these drives, sustain drives, score points off the drives. I don't care at this point. I don't care if they threes or sevens. You gotta score points.
Yeah.
The Niners got to make sure that they get points and put these points up on the scoreboard. Second half, though, I think the 49ers really activate and come to life. I just got this
I hope
really
so, man.
funny feeling, bro.
They have not been active, put the life in the second half. That's where they mess up, man. It's a tale
But
of half.
Raj, the plays are there, bro.
I
It's
know
just that
they
they're
are.
they're missing.
They
Like
are.
the plays are there, but they're missing out. Like even if you go back to the Atlanta game, we
Mhm.
were down by 7. Kyle Shanahan he dialed up the play to Danny Gray, didn't execute it right. And then on the next series, he dials up that long throw down there to Charlie Warren. just doesn't execute. And unfortunately, we couldn't get in the end zone. Now, at the end of the game, when we got to the goal line, I mean, it was zero time left really on the clock. No way we're going for a field goal just to put up 3 stinking points. We were down by 2 touchdowns. Had we been down by 10, you kick the field goal there, you go for the onside kick and you play your luck. But it just didn't pan out in our way. There was a screenplay. Johnny Dale and I just watched it. There's a screenplay, bro, to Deebo Samuel. We were running screens all game.
Yeah.
God, Aaron Banks whiffs on the block. That play was going to the house. There was nothing but blocking and a safety. I'm taking Deebo over anybody, any day, one-on-one in that outfield. Like, I'm just taking him. And unfortunately, play got blown up because Aaron Banks misses a block. Deebo gets tackled. It's a short game opposed to a massive game. So the plays are there. We're just not executing on the plays.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I talked about all week. It's execution, and consistency. Because, like you said, the Ray play, the Warner play, like those are two big plays. The play to Ayuk, we've seen that play where Jake Brendel gets called for the hold, like just critical moments. But again, it's just, and then you have an 8-minute drive, you don't score any points. So it's just like it's an inconsistency that I feel like this team really needs to kind of be able to navigate around, because it's the same issues that's been having every single week. So this is definitely a week where if you wanted to turn around would be the perfect time for it, because you're right. This is a team, the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to score. You can't sit there and leave points
Exactly.
off the board, because they can score the blink of an eye. And I know you said score field goals or touchdowns. I'll take field goal if we have to, but I need to see touchdowns, because you have to be able to hang with the team that can score, at a high pace, like the Bills, the Chiefs, whatever the case is. If you play these high-powered offenses, you need to start hanging sevens on the board. You can't just hang around with 3. But like I said, if you absolutely have to take 3, I'll take 3 more than 0. But you got to score, and if you force them to make mistakes, you got to score after.
Capitalize on them.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
thing. Sometimes you can force a turnover, but if you don't score after a turnover, then it's for nothing. So
You're speaking spot on, bro. Like, I'm tired of the 49ers beating themselves. And when they win a game, you can tell that they're in sync a little bit. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is getting better the more he plays. It's weird, but I feel like he's just progressing the more he plays, and
right.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's played pretty good. Real quick, I want to get to this question. Archon says, is Croft a pass catching tight end? Yeah, he is more of a pass catching tight end, but he's been injured. So that's probably why you have Warner out there as your, extra tight end 2 guy out there making that catch. But for his credit, like obviously you're not going to get a lot of opportunities, but when you get them, make the most of
To
you.
make the most of them.
You're not going to get more opportunities if you're not making most of your chances. So where's Ross Dwelly in that situation?
Didn't Dwelly get hurt week 2 and just never has? He's paid, but he's had to play still, and we'll see him
Yeah,
on like 13 personnel. When they're like,
going through an injury. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's what it is, because in my opinion, Dwelly got some good hands.
yeah.
He
Right.
should be that should have been his route.
That's true. You're right, because he has been dealing with like hamstring and
Yeah,
nagging injuries like that. So maybe he was 100%. So yeah, so that's why Charlie Warner's kind of sped up the
ascending.
a bit.
Mhm.
And you got an opportunity, buddy. Make the most of it. And Ray McLeod, man, inexcusable to not catch that. That's why I was a little frustrated last week. You got Danny Gray sitting on the bench. Not you drafted this guy in the third round pick, man, and he's being wasted.
So, all right. I know Danny Gray is not starting or not playing.
Not playing.
He's not playing because he struggles to get open.
Okay.
Look, okay. So, um, do I have the play? So there was a play in the Carolina game where he ran that route, you
I
know.
that play. Yeah.
Yeah. And he led his guy into the spot where the ball is being thrown.
Yeah.
And so he can't rely on his speed. He has to figure out ways to get open. Johnny Dell did a good breakdown today on the show. He has to figure out other ways to get himself open. And I think because of his route running and his break off the ball, the snap, he has blazing speed, but the NFL guys have blazing speed too. Like, you know what I mean? So this isn't college anymore. And so he's got some growing to do. It's almost like BA, like it is rookie year, even though we had to utilize him. We had to utilize Brandon Ayuk. So we ran certain routes for him. Danny Gray will eventually get it. I don't think blocking is his issue. I saw him block pretty darn well, and some of the snaps he's taken, but his snaps are going to be really limited. I tell you what, though, Raj, I would like to see Danny Gray out there more than Willie Snead.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Sorry, you taking over the show today, my man.
No, my bad, bro. Hey, I'll fall back.
No, no, no. It's because I'm getting distracted. I got calls coming in. I got people.
It's all good.
Then my phone died. It's been a mess over here so far. So that's why I'm happy that you're here. You're taking over the show in a good way, man. So keep holding it down. But what you're saying with Danny Gray is, yeah, I know he's kind of still learning. He's a rookie. He's got to go through the motions. And even IU kind of hinted towards it in his last press conference last week. He goes, you could see Danny's still learning and he has to learn the nuances. And I get all that stuff. But I'd at least like to see him out there other than Willie Snead. Like, what does Willie Snead give to this team that Danny Gray does at this point in his career? Like, he's not going to go out there and blow past a cornerback. Right. I don't see him, creating separation, getting open. Like, I know he plays special teams, but I see him do the same amount of work as Danny Gray. Nothing. I don't see Willie Snead out there. So at least let your third-round pick get some, play time, some snaps, let him develop, because mentally that's just not good for him being on the bench. That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
But you're right. I do see him kind of struggling a little bit here and there. But you're only going to get better if you play. So you don't let him play, he's not going to get better. But
Kyle don't play rookies, dog.
Kyle don't play rookies. And I know Eric Banks last year, he didn't play, and he's been pretty good this season. So
yeah, it's always year two. Kyle's always drafting for year two. Just want y'all to remember that. Kyle Shanahan is always drafting for year two. So he'll get players, they just are going to be underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And then year two, they release the hounds. I guarantee you.
Well, we need them right now. We kind of need them in year one right now. But you're right. I know you got to be a little patient.
I would even like to see Malik Turner over Willie Snead at this point. If Malik is good on special teams, and I feel like they're battling. So where's Malik? Like, I know he didn't get hurt. So I don't know, man. It's weird how Kyle has to utilize these players. And I try to always remind myself Kyle's playing chess, not checkers. And these losses are going to be setups for big wins later on. I kind of think that's what Kyle is doing. He's putting stuff out there. He's going to come back to certain plays. You're starting to see he's running the same plays just for different wide receivers. That play that we talked about to Danny Gray, Brandon Ayuk ran it. Now, it was an incomplete pass because I thought Jimmy could have led the ball a little further out for Ayuk to get it, but the defender made a really good play on it, and it was a PBU, but the route was 100 times better from Brandon Ayuk than it was with Danny Gray. So you're starting to see the same plays being run over and over again using different players. So maybe the next time when we see that Charlie Warner play, you're right, it'll be Tyler Kroft.
Maybe you're right. And he does run the similar concept, similar plays, but he tries to utilize different players at different times. And again, like Charlie Warner, maybe he's trying to catch the defense off guard. Say they're not ever going to expect Charlie Warner to be the guy, and he runs the route wide open. Boom, you just got to make the play. It's like you said, execution. So I know the plays are there, but you got to execute. And at some point, if you're not executing it, we're going to be back to this whole point of, okay, now we're 3-4, now we're 3-5. Can we, at some point, those kind of things start catching up with you. Like I know last year the team was 3-5 and they battled adversity, but law of probability and statistics is going to tell you that you can't always just come back from 3-5. So got to get these dubs, man. Got to get these dubs.
Preach.
So, we'll see. I think we can win this game though.
Not easily, but yes, it's a winnable game. And I'm not saying that because it's any given Sunday. I just think if the 49ers execute their plan, they're fine. And they don't even have to do it perfectly. They just have to execute their plan throughout the game. Just control the clock, guys.
That's it. And that is the key. Is they got to establish the ball control. They got to run the ball because you want to keep the Chiefs offense off the field. When you play a high scoring offense, keep them off the field. Let Patrick Mahomes watch. Let him watch. You get some of those 8-minute drives out.
This is when we want to see 8 to 9 minute drives for touchdowns, Kyle. This is exactly when we want to see that, bro.
Exactly. That's it, man. So hopefully next week we can sit here and we'll be praising and we'll be hyped and we'll be excited because the weeks are always better when we win. So.
When we win. Yeah, it is.
Last question. This is a good question from Mark. If we do lose, Breezy, Is it time to hit the panic button if we lose
Mm,
this weekend?
still a lot of football left, guys. Raj just said we were 3-5 last year, and we went to the daggone NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't think you push the panic button probably ever. Look, we got a lot of winnable games as well, and you got to remember we're going to be getting back some really good talent. When Elijah Mitchell comes back, our running game enhances just that
mhm.
much better. And I think the trust is there too with Elijah Mitchell and Kyle Shanahan. It's just a trust thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm super confident. I mean, remember, we're gonna be running the ball. And Elijah Mitchell is probably the reason why we're not able to utilize Deebo Samuel so well in the run game.
Probably.
He's a key cog in this offense, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Now,
He's big.
I say trade for CMC, but
I do too, bro, man. I want CMC. I'm telling you, because imagine a backfield. You got Debo here, you got CMC here. Oh my God, what you can do! And the defense is gonna be like, because you're right, Elijah Mitchell. He's such a threat that defenses have to kind of key for him. And then, okay, now you throw it to Debo Samuel, and that would be the same concept as you got this crazy weapon, CMC. Everybody's gonna key in on him. Debo Samuel, Kittle, so it would be great. I'm one of the guys that's big on CMC. I know a lot of people that say,
he's injury prone. All our running backs are.
I'm
That's
pro CMC.
Kyle Shanahan way. Look,
I'm
you bring CMC here, guarantee he'll find a way to stay healthy. I can feel it.
yeah, 100%. And you don't even need to give him that many carries. You give him
Ex-
a couple carries, a couple passes, because you got so many weapons. You don't have to give him the ball a lot like Panthers do.
You can have my 2nd and my 4th round pick next year.
Please take
Carolina. Take them. Look, we got players we're developing anyway,
yeah.
and all we need to do is go out there and not draft a center, sign a free agent center that fits. I think that's Kyle Shanahan's way too. Like, we don't talk about that a lot, but
Yeah.
we need a veteran center
Mm-hmm.
on this offense.
We
period.
do. We do, because when he brings in like Alex Mack, veteran center, he was great.
Even Weston Richburg.
Yeah, but I was gonna say Richburg was good when he was healthy, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Right.
He's a center, because Jake Brendel is not cutting it, man.
He's not. I wanted him to be, but I just to give him a little leeway. I still felt like he was Trey's guy.
Yeah. I think because he did practice a lot with Trey in the offseason. But there's another guy, and you spoke about this earlier with Danny Gray, where they draft for the 2nd year, Nick Zakelj.
Are they going to convert him to center? Nice.
Yeah, I think he's the center move, because he did take a lot of reps at center moving towards the second half. I remember reading reports where he's kind of getting up to speed with the center position. I think that's where they're trying to get him. So I think that is the guy they're trying to develop at center.
I could dig it.
Now we'll see. But if they don't hit with them, you're right. Veteran center is probably where they go.
And it just makes sense because you're trying to rush the development of your quarterback next year, and you want to speed up that process. So get a guy out there that can control and command and the slide the protections and kind of help your quarterback out, just until he gets into his rhythm of and playing football. And I think it starts with the center. I like what the offensive line is doing. I like the even the depth is starting to develop. I mean, Jalen Moore got better. I mean, like these guys are getting better with reps.
Yeah,
that's the key.
That's the key.
Reps. I just don't think Jake Brendel can get better with reps, bro.
Well, the problem is he's a veteran. He's not a young guy. He's been in the league for years.
Good point.
He's been a perennial backup. Like, this was the first year in 7 seasons he's actually got meaningful. Like, he's actually started this year. He's a career journeyman.
So he's going to be the next Daniel Brunskill, baby.
Yeah, well, maybe not even Brunskill, because Brunskill, I feel like he's pretty good. He knows the techniques. He knows the scheme.
But he got better.
He got better. He did.
He got better.
Jake Brendel is going to be able. I think what you see with Jake Brendel is what you get.
Okay.
Maybe he's going to prove me wrong, and at the end of the season, we're going to be sitting here. Whoa! Look at Jake Brendel.
I mean, oh man, he developed so well, didn't he, man? I told y'all he was going to be.
Yeah, we might have one of those episodes where I'm like, oh, fucking give Brendel his flowers, but I don't see it right now. I don't see it, because he's been a multi-year journeyman backup center, cut whatever. He's been waiting for this moment, and I just don't see it out of him. I don't know. But
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So, my man John says, post up some drywall at center at this point.
And the thing is, you need an athletic center in this offense. Like, that's what you need. You need an athletic guy. Brendel is pretty darn athletic, though. He's just not good at center.
He's just not good at being a center. His job. He's not good at his job. I just like he gets pushed around like the holding call because I remember there's people posting, "Oh, how did he get holding when he got bull rushed?" Like,
Oh, I remember the holding.
Yeah, but I watched it again, bro. He was holding on to the man for dear life. He was holding on. He was like, "Ah, he got bull rushed." So he was holding on, bro.
He wasn't expecting that grown man strength at that.
No, he was not, bro. He was getting crushed. He was holding on. There definitely was a hold because he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna fall back. I want."
That's what he was. That's what happened. He was falling.
He was bracing. Yeah.
Hey man, look, penalties are gonna happen as part of the game. We just got to figure out how to just they can't happen at the most crucial moments. And I guess you could say every moment in a game is a crucial moment. But that 39-yard pass to Brandon Ayuk was the most crucial. That was Jimmy Garoppolo's best pass the whole game.
Career, bro. Like his
career.
I was like, whoa, what a I was like, oh my God.
Ball dropped, right?
Bro, just right in the basket. I was like,
oh my God.
Man pass. And then flag on the play. Jake Brendel called for. I was like, no, you son of a bitch. What are you doing? No. Every time I see that, when I rewatch the game or watch the film, I was like, bro, Jake, what are you doing? Look at that pass from Jimmy.
Bro, I got you beat. I'm at the game.
Oh, yeah.
The moment he caught the pass, yeah, now say something. What the y'all gonna do? Penalty on the play. I was Homer Simpson, bro. I went back in the bush.
Oh, my God.
Yo, because it was so nice. It was designed. It was perfect.
It was beautiful. Like, it was well executed. Jimmy, perfect play, man. I was like, oh, my God. And it was Ayuk, too, because we were feeling Ayuk's big game.
He was having a big game.
He was
Ayuk would have had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
And possibly 3 tutties.
God, I was like, let's go, man. Let's go. And then, of course, they called that. And then after that, it just spiraled after that. But
yeah, it spiraled
it is what it is. You know, actually, I didn't talk to you about this yet. 2012 reunion. Y'all, you already know. Jim Harbaugh, the boys, Alden, Cap, Smith, all of the boys are gonna be back. Jim Harbaugh specifically is the one that kills because some of these players have been back to Levi's and watched the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time Jim Harbaugh's coming back since the whole fiasco. 10 years reunion.
Peachy said it earlier.
Ooh, how you feel, bro?
Peachy said, this is going to be an interview weekend.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh snap! I never thought about that. Jim's gonna walk back through those doors, and he's gonna realize that he never finished what he started.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business, bro. And him and Jed might have a conversation. And Kyle, look, I'm not saying I want Kyle gone. I'm just saying, Jim is the head coach, Kyle's the OC. That's something serious. That's scary as fuck.
I don't think they coexist.
It won't ever happen, but that's what I would love for it to happen.
But you never know. Maybe Jed York, because he wants to squash the beef. He's gonna say, "Look, man, I know I messed up. You're the guy I should have kept."
That's Jed.
He's gonna end it, good terms, shake your hand, and he's gonna give him something to think about. He goes, "Hey, if there's ever a position open, a head coach, maybe you can consider it now because they've squashed the beef. So maybe not next year, maybe not this year, maybe in a few years if things don't work out with Kyle, because I think he's still got a little bit of time left, unless he wins the Super Bowl, then he's got a lot of time left. Maybe Jed's going to prep him up and say, hey, look, man, don't ever close the door on the Niners because you do have unfinished business. We'd love to see you come back one day, maybe not in the near future, but eventually. You never know. They are going to squash the beef. It's nice to hear Jed say good things because he ruined that whole situation. He, chose his boy Balky over Harbaugh.
Shame on you, Jed.
Crazy. But that's going to be insane. There are going to be a lot of talks. Lynch and Harbaugh, 2 Stanford guys. There's a lot to think about here. Not just the whole, it's cool, rah.
Could CMC possibly be the 3rd Stanford guy? I'm just saying. Trade deadline is coming. Look, I'm not closing the book on CMC until the book is closed. I don't care what y'all don't want out there. I'm gonna tell you right now, you add CMC to this offense, you're gonna get CMC squared. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy having that element. That'll be Kyle Shanahan's probably greatest running back ever that he's ever coached.
Unbelievable. He'd be so amazing with
I
this.
know I'm wishing, but it is what it is, guys.
No, me too, though. I'm the same. I would love to see. I mean, like I said, I would if I was a defender and I'm looking back there and I see Debo and CMC. Holy crap! I'm like, yo, give me some diapers, man. I might need a change. I can't, bro.
I love it.
Man, that's gonna be amazing. But yeah, Harbaugh coming back. It's gonna be an amazing weekend. I hope they get a dub in front of those guys. But as far as Harbaugh, I don't think he's going anywhere soon because me and he's got work to do in Michigan. They got a
Go blue.
baby.
Listen, tell me, you got the #1 defense in the college football, bro.
Yes, sir. Corum, bro, that guy's a beast. JJ, love the kid. He's developing nicely. They got a shot. They got an honest shot to win a national
I
championship.
just want to beat Ohio State. I don't give a fuck about a national title championship. I just want to beat Ohio State 2 years in a freaking row, back to back. That's it.
We were there last year.
Then we're gonna have to play Georgia again.
Yeah.
They was different last year, man. James Cook had a game.
So I was so sad, but I did the Ohio State game last year was so much fun, man. That was a vibe. That was probably one of the best games I've ever been to in my life because it was.
I'm so jealous.
Beat Ohio State in years. We go there, we rush the field. It's fucking nuts, man. Pandemonium. It was fun, dude. Just good times, man.
Sorry, John V. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
You know how I feel, man. Michigan, Ohio State. That's the only game that matters. That's the only game that's circled on my calendar. Whatever that day is, I took it off.
We got to go to that game, man. I'm thinking about maybe going. It's in Ohio.
It's in Ohio State. Yeah.
Ooh, sure. I'm gonna rush that field if we win. They're gonna kick me out.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be a game, bro. Yeah.
All right, bro. I'm about to jump off here, man. Get me some dinner.
Same here, man. I'm gonna eat and watch this Thursday night football, man.
Thursday night football, guys. Listen, we're going for the Saints.
Yeah.
When they come marching in, Andy Dalton is gonna get this win. I'm saying it right there.
I hope so. I hope the Saints win because if they win, the Cardinals are 2-5.
That's just need the Saints to win by any means necessary. Wait, the Cardinals are 2-4. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So why did I thought the Cardinals were tied with it? Oh, they lost last week.
They're the only team in the division that's not 3-3. They're 2-4, baby.
Listen, they get D-Hop back though.
Yeah.
Not this week, right? Maybe in 2 weeks. He'll
be back without the steroids, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah.
He'll probably have a game though. I think he's gonna have a good game, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, back."
He better have a good game. I took his ass off my bench and put him in my lineup.
He better have a good game for your ass.
Look, I still want the Saints to win, but I need D-Hop to win too. Like I need him out there balling.
I need to see the Saints win, but I think the Cardinals are gonna win this game. I hate to say it.
You just feel like it's just it's just because we want the Saints to win. Yeah. It's just our luck. The Cardinals will pull it off, especially now that he's got his guy back.
Yeah, and they got Robbie Anderson. Maybe he'll make.
And they got Robbie. Yeah, good.
But
point.
If they lose, I'll be a happy man. So we'll see.
There it is.
There it is.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on, my man. Thanks for holding it down because I had some technical difficulties.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, Roz took a bathroom break. Yo, yesterday on my show, I did this. I tried to show the people my sneakers, right? And you ever get a Charlie horse in your stomach? Bro?
Yeah.
Yo,
I
said, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Put the pause break on.
I didn't even have time to hit the pause break, bro. I said, I'll be back.
You was like, I'm gone.
Bro, that joint hurt so bad, bro. Oh. I stood up, I had to stretch the abdomen, and I told everybody I had gas.
Yeah,
because I came back rather fast. It was so funny, yo. You're gonna get the funniest stuff when you watch our shows. I promise.
Yo, no, it's good stuff, man. I always watch you. Good dude, man. It's the best. Man.
Bro, I love you, man. Stay up, bro.
Hey, say, man. I love you, man.
Peace.
Take care, Wayne. All right, that's it. Good stuff. My man Wayne Breezy tapping in today. Appreciate you, Wayne, for tuning in and dropping by. He carried the show for a little bit because I had technical difficulties. My daughter was calling me. I had to tell her call back. Let me call her back, and then the phone died. So he was holding it down, man. So good stuff, man. Appreciate Wayne for dropping in. Hit the like button. Let's get it, baby. It is what it is. Let's hope the Arizona Cardinals lose tonight. I'll talk to you guys a little later tonight on Instagram after the game. It'll be a little late night Instagram session. So I hope you guys have a good one. Appreciate you. Love you. Bang, bang. Nana gang. John says he's going to tackle me. Oh, man, I might be out on the – if you tackle me, I'll probably be on the injured reserve. I'm a skinny dude. You don't want to tackle me.